Hello everyone, Laura here with Joyful Miles, and today I am finally getting around to doing a video many of you have requested, and it's on how I make my running Minnie ears. As you can see by the mess behind me, I'm starting to make my costumes for the Princess Half Marathon, so excited about that. So what better time seeing as how I'm making a pair for my Ursula costume and Snow White. As you can see by the colors. And yes, those are wings. And yes, I will be regretting wearing those wings. Count on that, but they're cute. I started making ears back in 2014 for the Princess Half Marathon, although my bow's sense has greatly improved. At least I hope they have. Oh, and wearing a tiara with ears? No, that was painful. I would not recommend that. Now, during the past few runDisney events, Jackie and I have seriously upped our ear game by incorporating them into really fun group costumes. They're also great to Disneyfy a non-Disney costume, such as our Elvis one. And by the way, Disneyfy is a real word. I looked it up. The ones that I use are very comfortable, so there will be no grumpy faces during your race photos, unless it's intentional. And best of all is the cost. I do buy headbands in sets of 6 since I make them for friends. So on average, my cost is about $4 to $5 per ear, depending upon the cost of material for the bow or any little extras you put on. So if you are ready to make your own set of ears, here's what you will need. You're going to need a headband, some craft foam, the ear template, material for the bow, scissors, a glue gun, a Sharpie or chalk pencil, and then any other decorations to complement your running costume. For example, this is what we did for our Monsters University cheerleaders. We added horns in craft foam and this cute little fuzzy purple in the center. I don't know, I love these. My bow's a little messed up though. Now, finding just the right headband can be tricky. Remember when Joanne Fabrics used to have those fabulous little sequined one for like $1? Yeah, I miss them. But I have found some great ones on Amazon, these satin ones. At first I was like, satin, I don't know about that. But the good thing is the satin isn't glued to the headband. That way you have a little bit of give when you glue on the ears because you're going to be stretching it off and on, off and on. So I love these and I'm going to put links to them below. Now I do buy them in the 6-pack and this was about $11.99. You can also get them in a 12-pack as well. They're definitely a lot cheaper when you purchase them in bulk. I've also been loving the Sparkle Craft Foam that you can get at Michael's with the adhesive back. They have a ton of colors there. Let's see, they have green, they have blue too as well. So a lot to pick from. As far as the fabric, my favorite is definitely this confetti dot material that is very similar to the Sparkle Athletic skirts. You can buy this at Joanne Fabrics, on average about $7 a yard, but always use a coupon. Or really, you could use any fabric. Look at what I got for my Snow White ears. I'm not gonna lie, I squealed with joy when I found this. For our Elvis ears, I used this horrible gold fabric. It was a little too flimsy. You want to use something that has a little bit of stiffness to it. And then for my Anastasia ears, for our Cinderella themed costume, I just went ahead and put the feather on using more craft foam. So as far as a template goes, you can use anything that is a circle, coffee mug, a saucer, depends upon the size you want your ears, or you could head on over to our blog and print out the template that I use. Since I do make a lot of ears, I have my template cut out in craft foam and I have one for the left and one for the right. And I gotta tell you, these aren't perfect, folks, but you know what, when they're on, you can't tell. Okay, so let's get started. Now, quick disclaimer, I don't do crafting videos. I don't quite have the setup for like the angles and demonstrations, so I'm going to do the very best I can. Okay, so the first step, let's get the ears cut out. Now the reason why I like to use the craft foam with the adhesive back is because when you peel off the backing and stick them together, you're going to have a very nice smooth seam. I hope you can see that right here. Plus you only have to cut out one ear at a time. If you use the non-adhesive kind, sometimes you're not going to have a smooth seam because no matter how hard you try, you don't cut them out the same or you don't line them up properly. Plus, you also have to cut out a total of 4 pieces rather than 2. If you're making only one set of ears, then go ahead and take your craft foam and cut it in half. That was loud. feel like I'm in the Country Bears. Once you have that cut, go ahead and peel off the adhesive and stick those two halves together. Align them the best you can. Now you want to take your handy dandy templates and cut out one piece for the left and one for the right. I thought I was filming myself doing that, but I didn't turn the camera on. This is why I don't do crafting videos, y'all. And after I make the cut, I always make sure that I lay my ears down with the front side on the table and back side facing me. If you're using the non-adhesive craft foam, go ahead and cut two for the left, two for the right. Align them the best that you can and use a hot glue gun to seal. Just don't get too close to the edge because it will ooze. Now it's time to set the placement for your ears. So you go ahead and put on your headband, get in front of a mirror with a chalk pencil or Sharpie, whatever, and then I will go ahead and place them wherever I like them. They're about usually 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches apart. Once you have them roundabouts where you like them, I am going to pretend that my camera here is my mirror. Go ahead and drop one side, and you want to mark the front and the bottom of each half. And leave them on for a second. Put on your other ear, line them up the way you like them. Go ahead and drop this one and mark the other half as well. So now it is time to glue the ears to the headband. Now I started off with the blue here, but I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the green. I'm making a set for my dear friend Stephanie's daughter Maggie. We are all running the 5K together, and she is going as Ariel. So I'm hoping they turn out good. And while I'm switching is because I am used to, where is it? Here it is. I'm used to making bows out of this confetti dot fabric. You know, for my Snow White, I'm making them out of this yellow here. I haven't worked with it before, so I feel more comfortable for the sake of this video making it out of this sparkle fabric. Now here's the thing, you don't want to glue the ears on while the headband is on the table and not stretched out because it's not going to fit as well. So what I do is I put the headband on my thigh just so they're stretched out a bit, and then I will run a piece of glue from mark to mark. Then making sure that you grab the right half, go ahead and press the ear down on this glue, trying to keep it centered as much as possible. You want to press enough so it seals properly, but not so hard because it can buckle. Then you want to hold it for a second or two until the glue cools. Go ahead and repeat on the other side. Now is the fun part, making the bow. Now I've learned how to make my bows from this awesome tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and link it below. And she's also showing folks how to make the puffy ones out of material in case you want to try that as well. Now since I do make a lot of bows, I have a template that's 10 by 12 and 1/4. So now you want to cut your material out. You want to fold the bottom up about 1/3, the top down about 1/3, and then you're going to run a very thin line of hot glue down the seam, so the glue is going to end up being roughly in the center of your bow. Go ahead and fold down the top half and pat it gently into place. If you have any rough ends, you can go ahead and trim them up, although it's certainly not necessary. I am a perfectionist. Then you want to fold the right over 1/3, the left over 1/3. Then go ahead and run another thin line of hot glue, once again, keeping to the center of where you want your bow to end up. Go ahead and give that a little pat. Now, here is the tricky part. You want to fold down the top and bottom and then accordion style push together the fabric so you end up with 2 pleats. I know I made that really easy, but wait, now I'm realizing that I forgot to cut my center strip. Yeah, there we go. Usually I make my center strips about 7/8 of an inch, or you can go wider, thinner, however you want. And I make it about 5 inches long, so I have some room to wiggle with. So let's go ahead and pinch this together. I'm a little bit more slower here. Turn it over, just check and see if things are even. Adjust it the way you like. And then I turn it back over so I squeeze a little bit of hot glue in between the center pleat in the back. That kind of gives it a little bit of a stabilization. And that is not tea or coffee in that mug. It is Friday night, y'all. Now go ahead and take your center strip. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back, but I stay away from the top pleats. Go ahead and press this down. Then you want to come around from the bottom. I started too soon. Come around from the bottom to the top. Take your time. I certainly am here. Then go ahead and turn it over, see if it's even. Go ahead and make any adjustments. Since you didn't put any glue on the top pleat, you can move it around a little bit. Once you're happy, go ahead and put a healthy dab of glue on the back and press down your center strip. I said press down your center. There we go, good girl. Go ahead and trim off that excess, and voila! Look what you got, a cute little bow. Now that your bow is done, you want to go ahead and put on your headband, making sure that the front is facing the front, and then get in a mirror, put your bow on, kind of see what type of placement you want. Maybe it looks better the other way around. You never know with one of mine. So now you want to go ahead and glue the bow, and usually I concentrate the glue in the center so it's not too far forward. Just put a nice old dollop on. Go ahead and put on the bow, making sure that it's centered, or at least centered enough. Press it back just a little bit so you have a nice arch, and press and hold, and voila, look what you got there. So what I normally do once I put on the bow is I haul to the mirror very fast while the glue is still warm, and I just check the alignment in case I got to tug it one way or the other. I also added just a little bit of glue right about here to make sure that the top of the bow laid across the headband nicely. These are looking pretty good. I hope Maggie likes them. The next step for your ears would be to decorate them according to your costume. So like for these Ariel ears, she could put on a spoon, pearls, a shell, something fun like that. Oh, and one more thing, you definitely want to be sure to clip your ears down. I use these little clips here, or you could use bobby pins. And I also tuck a few extra into my pocket before the race. That way, in case your ears are going all over the place, you have a backup. So there you have it, how I make my mini running ears. I hope this was helpful. Gotta say, I don't know how this video is going to end up with all this crazy filming. Fingers crossed that it's somewhat decent, but you probably will never see another crafting video from me. What you will see is a vlog with me putting together all of my costumes for the Princess half, as well as tips for Princess. I have the Dopey full recap coming up soon. And finally, I'm going to do the Year of Bling video I meant to do before we left for Dopey. So you definitely want to subscribe and hit the bell for video notifications. Until then, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. Give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and share if you think anyone else would find it helpful. I'm done. Phew! Take care, guys, and as always, have a joyful day.